going on, guys? Chat filter, none. Display all fast. All right, there we go. That should work. Usually go live on Tuesday nights from work, but today my little munchkin had an award ceremony, which, because of weather here in the Charlotte area, actually got postponed. So I could have worked, didn't know that I could work because they didn't postpone it till after I'd given up the shift. So instead of going live from work, I figured I'd just go live for a little bit here and see if we can get some subs. What's going on? Good to see you, Mel. Just checked my stats and saw I was at like 98,869 subs. What's going on, Doreen? What's going on, Mike? First time I've ever seen you live. Keep up the great content. Dude, Sheila, what's going on? How are you? I just put up an awesome, well, I think awesome video. We have another Everclear video that somebody sent me, and I just had a blast doing a reaction on it. Sooner or later, maybe when I get to 100,000 subs. We are at 98,000, as I said, 869. So I'm like under 1,200 subscribers away from my play button, 100,000. Maybe if I get to 100,000 subscribers, maybe we'll finally crack open that Everclear bottle. I don't know. I see the kids doing it. I remember drinking it, which is shocking enough. The fact that I remember drinking it is hard to believe. But before all you Zoomers discovered it, before the young millennials discovered it, what's going on, my Goonies? We drank it, but I don't remember drinking it straight. It's going on, Life. I never drank Everclear straight, ever. It was jungle juice. It was in a huge, it's like bathtub gin. We would just pour it into a plastic bag lined garbage can with like all kinds of fruit and juices and stuff. The idea was that it's 190 proof, so it would get us lit. We would be out of it. We would be drunk out of our minds, and it was cheap. But straight, yeah, no. But I just posted a video. This kid's doing it. He seems like a real straight-laced kind of kid. Does not end well for him. So you can check that out when the live is over. Share the live. Click that like button. Let's see how many people we can get in. I am so excited to hit 100,000 subscribers. I cracked open the MD 2020 bottle. I have two. We already drank one of those. So we're down to one MD 2020 left. That wasn't bad. That actually was enjoyable. I actually liked it. I've got the Orange Jubilee right back there on the right. We're down to one bottle of those. But if we hit 100,000 subs, and I'll have to track on, let me get my computer up and running. Does anybody actually go on their laptops anymore? Is it not there yet? Trying to get there, Bright Carol. We're very close, but not there yet. I'm really excited. Like the thought of me I've got over 705,000 followers on Facebook. I've got over 162,000 followers on Instagram. I think 14 or 15,000 on TikTok. Just different, but 100,000 on YouTube it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know why that 100,000 seems more special. I don't know. Probably shouldn't, but it does. To me. It's more legitimate. Like my 13-year-old, well, she'll be 13 on Friday, said to me, she's like, you're doing really good on Facebook, Dad, but there's no Facebookers. There's people who make content, but you're not a Facebooker. You're not a Instagrammer. But TikToker, yeah, that's become a thing, sort of. But YouTuber is like the gold standard, I think. I could be wrong. I just feel like it is. Let's see. Checking the dashboard. And currently, 98.8. We're still at 98,800 subscribers. So if you guys come in and you're not currently subscribing and you like content about the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, if you like content where the old guy talks about stuff the young people are doing, that's me. That's the page. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's nostalgic. Janet DeMarco is actually Life Without Wheels or Life with Wheels. It's our buddy Life on his mom's account, I think. Yeah, I agree. YouTube is my go-to. It's the standard. If I can get to 100K on YouTube, that would be probably get a copyright strike for that. Let's go back to channel dashboard. Okay. What else we got? What about, come on, dude. Let's keep the politics out. Let's just not be total douchebags about things. See you later, buddy. It's just yeesh. Anyway, yeah, YouTube is my go-to. Hit that button. Let's get to 100,000. I think everybody in here right now probably subscribes. But if you've got friends, if you've got family, if you've got spouses, if you've got access to your kids' YouTube, hey, maybe you just subscribe your kids to my channel. What's the biggest mistake I ever made in my life? My God, dude, there are many. There are many. I was just talking to my wife today. I'm like, things are going really well on this channel. Things are going well across the board on social media for me, and I'm just waiting for. Thank you so much, Angel. I'm just waiting for the moment where I am going to reach in and clutch defeat from the jaws of victory because I've been really good at it my entire life. Am I a soccer fan? Not so much. American football. I really appreciate all the subscriptions, guys. Really, I appreciate the subs. Let's get there. Let's get it going. Let's get to 100K and just a great goal in life. But no, I've been really good at getting really successful in life and then finding a way to be unsuccessful again and up and down. There's been no straight line to the top in my life. So lots of mistakes. But the biggest mistake I think I've ever made is early on in my life, I didn't learn from my mistakes. I kept making the same mistakes over and over again. You like my hat? Thank you. This is super old. I've got tons of Bills hats. A ton of them. There's 3 within reach here. Got another one here. People always ask me, they're like, why don't you get a new Bills cap? And I'm like, I've got them. I've got new Bills caps. It's not that I don't have new ones. It's just because something is old and haggard doesn't mean it doesn't have value. And maybe this hat is, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Maybe this hat is a metaphor for me personally. Maybe it's like the fact that it's threadbare and it's looking kind of crappy. Still my favorite though. Congratulate me on Trump's return. Listen, I don't do politics. I was just telling somebody, a friend of mine the other day, he's like, what do you think? And I go, I think this is the president for the next 4 years, and then it will be somebody else for another 4 years. And it is what it is. And I whatever. We take our turns, right? So far, the people that voted for him, they're going to get there for. The people that voted for Biden had there for. It's been Obama, it's been Reagan, it's been Clinton, it's been Ford, it's been Carter. You get to a certain age in life and you see all these 4 years, right, with different presidents going in. And it's kind of ironic that in my experience, hey, Brody, shout out to you, buddy. In my experience, we've had presidents from the left and from the right. We've had conservatives and liberals. We've had Republicans and Democrats. And yet healthcare seems to always be on the ballot, right? That this is going to be the election that fixes healthcare or the tax code or puts our kids first or does something about education. Dude, they just keep kicking the can down the road. No matter what party is in office, those things stay where they are. So is what it is. And that's where I'm going to leave politics for the night. Let's put it aside. Let's focus more on what brings us all together versus what attempts to bring us all apart. What's going on, Brandy? Hope you're having a great day night as well. Does my hoverboard actually hover? No, this one doesn't. But my buddy JC, if you go over to Instagram, he has a page called Kryptonite Creations LLC. And dude has mad skills. I mean, absolutely incredible. He is a huge, I appreciate that, AC. That's awesome. I love having people coming in from all over the world. He just does amazing stuff with 3D printers, and he's got a love of nostalgia. If you love things from the 70s, 80s, the 90s growing up, he's made some incredible stuff for me. That kind of I make videos with. He's the one that supplies me with my toys. This is the most recent. How old am I? I'll be 55 next month, February 1st. Pretty cool, huh?
Volume low.
You'd need magnets in the floor to hover.
Volume high.
Agreed.
The princess.
But this... So this one currently, if you use Gen X Jono in his store, you get 25% off. I think it brings the price down to 75 bucks. Pretty cool. I don't get a commission. I don't do it for the money. I just think he's a hella cool guy who makes really cool stuff. And I love that it's affordable because I've seen him a hell of a lot more expensive than that. Which state am I crying? Don't know what that means. Love your lightsaber. Yeah, well, the talk is that it has, I think, 13 different modes and 18 different sound profiles and colors. It's pretty cool. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Hey, Travis, how are you? I'm definitely an old head. Coming in Brooklyn, my buddy Eli in the house. Past presidents have had the country's safety and security at heart based on first 24 hours. Nothing but himself. Let's let it go, great guys. It's everyone has a different point of view. I'm sure everyone's got a different opinion. For every opinion we put out there, somebody's going to come on the other side of it. So let's understand that and focus on what brings us together. But I promise you, Travis, I'm not, but I appreciate it. Boston, Massachusetts in the house with Mike, with Life. Go Bills. Tough game. Got a little bit of luck there in the end. Drop pass. I was very grateful. Have to agree to disagree or agree not to, but I passed all of that. Opinions most definitely are exactly like those, Hokey. Good to see you, buddy. It says 13 different things. That's totally cool. Yeah, it just has different sound profiles. Like when you move it, the sounds that it makes and stuff. How old am I? I will be 55 on February 1st. Thank you, Life. Yep, my daughter, our youngest, turns 13 at the end of this month. We're very close. We're both Aquarii. Don't make me turn this car around. Wait, wrong situation. Never a wrong situation for turning the car around. Let's see, do we get any subs? Did get a couple, guys. Keep them coming. I will... Debating, do we open the Everclear bottle if we get to 100,000 subs? I don't wanna. Thank you for that. Game Sunday should be amazing. You know, part of me said I'd rather lose to the Ravens than lose to the Chiefs. A little bit of history there. 13 seconds really, really, really stung. Guys, I'm going to put last call on. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. I'm going to put last call on politics. Freedom of speech, all that, it's great. But that's not the purpose of this particular channel. There's lots of places you can go to be divisive. There's lots of places online to go and discuss politics, and that's great. This just isn't one of them. So we're going to go on pausing anybody that goes that way. Why am I a Cubs fan? So my most fervent followers will know this, but the reason is twofold. Number one, I am a huge Cubs fan because I'm Greek. And I'm from Buffalo, and they may not seem to get the bottle ready. I'll drink it if we get to 100,000 while I'm on here. So the reason I'm a Cubs fan is I'm from Buffalo, and my parents immigrated here from Greece. Now, that may not seem to make any sense. Yes, I have opened one of the MD 2020s. We polished off one of the MD 2020s. The reason it makes sense is as a kid, I begged my mother for a Buffalo Bills jacket, one of those old school 70s jackets with the pleather on the sleeves and the felt, and it was red and blue and amazing, and I wanted one, and that's all I wanted for Christmas. And Christmas morning, my well-intentioned mom, Greek mom, immigrant mom, said that I would be very excited when I opened my present, and I opened the present and I saw the jacket. I saw the jacket with the red and the blue, and I thought, oh my God, she did it. And then I picked it up, and instead of being a Buffalo Bills jacket, it was a Chicago Cubs jacket. Now, you got to remember, this was the 70s when we were all broke. I'm talking broke. When you got the penultimate one big gift, and then the rest was stuff your parents were going to buy you anyway, but they wrapped it. So you got the one big gift. Then you got a couple little toys, and then you got socks and underwear and shoes and that shit. So I just looked at her in disbelief, and I'm like, why? And she gave what would be the mantra, the message, the theme of my life. The words "not close enough," because my life was brought to you by the words "close enough." You see, my mom saw the colors and figured it was close enough. She goes, "Same color but cheaper," and I ended up with a Chicago Cubs jacket, like I said, in the era of being broke, which means parents bought everything 3 sizes too big and you grew into it. So I had to wear a Chicago Cubs jacket for about 4 years, and as a result, became a lifelong Cubs fan. How's the weather here? We actually just went on e-learning for tomorrow. This Bills hat is probably 98, 99, I would guess. Let's go Cubbies. This hat is old. Rolling pennies for gas broke? Yeah, rolling pennies for gas broke. And that was the other thing. WGN absolutely meant we could all watch Chicago Cubs games no matter where you were. And it made it real easy for people to be Cubs fans all over the country. Yeah, I'm in South Carolina as well, Kimberly. We just called off schools in the Lancaster School District. What is my most old school item? You know, the same Greek mom made sure I don't have a lot of old stuff. We have an expression in my family that if something ended up lost, it got Greek mommed, which meant we left it out and she threw it away. My mom's version of cleaning was if you don't put your stuff away, she threw it away. And my mom was vindictive about it. Before she threw it away, she made sure it was destroyed and then thrown away so that we learned our lesson and couldn't go back and get it. She punctured our footballs before throwing them away. She ripped up our comics before throwing them away. So I don't have much. I have some old records. This one, my dad saved me a couple records. This is, how old is this? This is the original 45 RSO Tragedy by the Bee Gees. You can see it's in rough shape. But this is the Bee Gees. Probably 1978, 79, 1979. Bee Gees album. This one is Tragedy. And I've also got another 45. This one is Mr. Roboto by Styx from 1983. So I've got a couple LPs that are older than a lot of the people watching. Hello from Las Vegas. How old is my oldest Gen X shirt? Not too old. I make and sell most of them. Design and sell most of them, I should say. I design and sell most of them. My mom always told us to clean our rooms, and if it's not put away, she threw it away. Domo morigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo. Domo. Domo morigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo. We did an air band, and we did it to that song. You guys remember air bands? I don't know, man. I've got like people. I just got done saying people come on every day and say time for a new hat. I got them. Got people gift them to me. Got my wife give me a bunch. I pick up a bunch. So I've got new hats. This one just happens to be my favorite. Dawkins, all right. I'll take it. Hey, Glasgow, Scotland. Awesome. My mom would drive over anything left in the driveway. That'd be my dad. He'd come in and say, who left their bike out? No, I meant my shirts with TV shows or bands. I've got an old school Mountain Dew shirt that's actually original. That one's old. I might have an old school Metallica shirt. I haven't seen it in a while. My wife might have gotten rid of it. It was not in good shape. Bronco, Elway, old school. Let's go Bills. Let's go Buffalo. I didn't clean my... But my mom was vicious. I remember being like, Mom, have you seen my paper? I had a report that I was working on and it's gone. And she'd be like, well, if you leave your things out, I throw it away. And I'm like, I didn't leave it out. It was on my desk. But she'd throw them away. Don't you dare change hats during the Bills playoff run. That's a fact. The 1981 Van Halen t-shirt. I'm jealous, Cindy. Looks like we got a couple subs. We're a little closer. Who can see the actual count? I'm showing us that we got some, but I'm still showing 98.8. So 98,800 and something is where we're at. I can't see exact counts on my laptop. Audience. 98,886 right now. So we're not even close. I'm safe. I'm not going to be drinking that Everclear tonight. We left it out. It went away. Yeah, 98,800 and some change. So I think I'm safe. But if we can get to 100,000, I think that would be a good time to break open the Everclear and see what we can do with it. Gen X in the house for sure. What movie scared me the most from the 70s? I gotta say, the movie that scared me the most probably isn't what you're thinking. It's not a horror movie. The movie that kept me up at night for weeks on end was The Day After. Go Bills. I talk about it all the time. As a kid in the 70s, as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I would look out the window at night fully and totally convinced that it was only a matter of time before the last thing I would see in my young life would be a mushroom cloud. I bought into it. I totally thought we were going to die as a result of global nuclear devastation. That kept me up. Everything else I was able to at least kind of like in my mind, things that were fictitious to scare us didn't scare me so much. I was reading Stephen King by the age of 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old at the latest. So that stuff didn't scare me so much. What scared me is real life stuff. Like when somebody told me that Amityville Horror was based on a house in New York State, and I lived in New York State, kind of creeped me out. My older brother, we shared a room. Remember us kids sharing rooms? I wonder if kids share rooms today the way we did. And that, my older brother told me that Charles Manson had escaped from prison, was on the loose, stuff like that. So I saw the movie Helter Skelter as a TV movie, and my older brother told me that he was out running around. So things that were real scared me more than fictitious stuff. Never had bunk beds, always wanted them. Algebra scared me. Do I have any friends from my ex days? I have a lot of friends from my ex days. I still have a lot of childhood friends that I keep in touch with. Poltergeist scared me a little bit. Salem's Lot a little bit. The other thing that scared me is when movies broke the rules, when they hurt pets or they hurt kids. That's why Pet Sematary was so scary. Am I in Buffalo? Nope, but I am a University of Buffalo graduate. I lived in Buffalo from 1988 till about 1999. My brother still lives up there. I am from the Rochester, Buffalo area, just living in Charlotte for the last 9 years. Chucky ruined playing with dolls for me. He destroyed my buddy. That cost that company a lot of money. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Oh, shoot. We got a couple more subscribers, guys. Up to 98,894. So we are 6 subscribers away from flipping that 8 to a 9 and bringing us to 98.9. Overland Park, the kid floating to the second floor window, Salem's Lot, didn't sleep for a week. How about Ricky Tikki Tavi? Do I miss being in Rochester, New York? Not a lot. I miss my family and friends there. Ricky Tikki Tavi scared me. I remember that cartoon being the reason I never let my foot hang off the edge of the bed because I was convinced there was a cobra just waiting to strike. Oh, Ricky Tikki was scary as hell. 896, 98,896 is where we're at. Any Evil Dead 81 fans? That Cobra was scary as hell. And the voice. I did the voice the other day and it kept me up that night. If you move, I will strike. And if he does not move, I will strike. I mean, come on, what the hell is that? And that's a kid's cartoon. Khan, yep, the Cobra. Born in 81, eh, Angeli? Makes you the oldest of the millennials or a zennial, or somebody that is unfortunately millennial, but probably relates a lot more to the stuff I talk about. Just kind of my experience from people that are up there. People that talk to me that are born 81, 82, 83, a lot of them really relate more to Gen X than millennial stuff. Regina, you have a wonderful night. Thank you for popping on. 4th of 5, total Xer. My dad used to tell me if I wasn't good that a monster named Raw Head and Bloody Bones carried. Oh, geesh. 1970 for me too, Mr. Sea Dog. Tended to be the ice cold voice of a psychopath. It succeeded, dude. 79 in the house. 67. Hey, Manny at 78. Tammy at 79. Got another subscriber up to 97 now. Count is, I feel like, help me out here. Jerry Lewis in the telethon, updating the board. 1980, my dude. Lisa, the young kid in the house. Got a monster under my bed, but I killed it. Keep hitting the like button, people. Let's see how many people we can get in here, get people to talk about stuff. Coming back to the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I was talking to a friend of mine I do a podcast with, Gen X Shell. 98,900, guys. We just flipped to 900. We are now 1,100 away from cracking open that Everclear bottle. I might unsubscribe myself if we get there, if that means that I don't have to drink it. So a buddy of mine, I do a podcast with Shell. We were talking, and we're going to start doing a series of videos about the bars that we saw in the 90s. I turned 20 in 1990, but I've been bartending since I was about 16. My parents owned a bar. Hey, Robvious. So I just was always bartending at a very young age. In a small town, nobody really minded so much. But we're going to start doing some scenes of things that we remember when we were out in the clubs. John, how far was the longest you rode your bike from home? Hokey, I got to tell you, dude, miles. Miles and miles and miles. Thank you, Roseanne. I talk about it all the time. We went out the door, said bye, Mom, if Mom was even home, and that's it. We were gone. Her pull on us only went so far as her voice would carry. Now, sometimes parents did this thing where there would almost be like a relay effect when our parents would yell for us, and my mom would go out the door and she'd be like, Johnny! And I didn't hear her, but somebody else did. So then they would carry the yell forward, obviously with less of a Greek accent. But generally speaking, oh, thank you, Roseanne. Generally speaking, we took our bikes and just went. Rode all over town, exactly. My grandpa ran an American Legion in the Pittsburgh area. Very cool, JTR. High Desert, California, 63, solid Gen X. We used to go every New York City club. Dude, the clubs in the 90s. I saw in 1993, I lived in Yonkers, Bronxville specifically. And I remember trying to go to the clubs down there. It was tough. Back in those days, we paid like, what, $20 to get in the door? And you never had any way of knowing if it was busy inside, and they wouldn't let you look. So you'd pay 20 at the door, you'd go in, and it'd be dead. And I had a lot of trust fund friends who'd be like, let's go check something else out. And I'm like, I can't, dude. I can't afford to go club to club. $20 at the door. So I moved my ass back to Buffalo. It was too expensive for me to live down there. Sorry, Matt. The whole point of this is to yap. If you don't like it, you know what the door is. New Rochelle as well, $25 to get in. Kind of boring if I don't yap, dude. May 2nd, 1970. Thank you, Gen X, for all the memories. Love it. Oh, my Lord, I miss our days so much. I do. I miss it a lot. Any updates on the Mineral Girl? She's kind of gone quiet. She pops her head up out of a hole every once in a while. We kind of whack-a-mole her back down. But I'll let you know as soon as she pops back up again. Grew up in the Pittsburgh area. Love the Christmas Legion parties. So close to 100,000. You got this, man. I'm hoping. That's my younger brother calling. Not going to take it right now. Got 2 more subscribers. We are at 98,902. Southwest of Buffalo, New York. You got to be getting some massive lake effect snow today. Right in the back of station wagons. Hey, Robius. Obviously. I prefer these days. Technology is good. Dude, I do too. I don't have a problem with technology at all. I'm using it. Yeah, Robert, we made fun of her again today about her connection. Now, Friday at 5:30 p.m., I'll be the host of the 3-View Mirror. And I've got 3 awesome connections, 3 awesome topics that we'll talk about. I'll let you know. The Bills will get cooked. Well, we'll see. Really, The Ring? You are old. It's a joke. Buffalo's getting pounded. Yeah, my brother lives in East Amherst. He's telling me they're just getting absolutely cooked over there. Smoked by snow. All lake effect. Agreed, life. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to unplug. Listen, I don't mind technology. That I've said it over and over and over and over and over again. My only problem with the world we live in today is when we have access to everything all the time, well, then nothing is special. There was something really cool about getting excited to see something and waiting for it. And now the closest we come to that is waiting for a new season of Cobra Kai to start, you know? I liked knowing that an episode was going to be on Friday night that I'd been waiting for, and there'd be a cliffhanger, and we wait till next Friday again. And with only three channels, there was a really good chance that all your buddies in school were also watching the same thing. It was amazing. And to Cindy's point, now it's instant gratification or no gratification. Because people don't ever see things when they can watch them anytime they want. Grew up in Western New York, Buffalo and Rochester. Tony Danza, I've gotten that one a couple times. I'll take it. 9 times out of 10, when people tell me that I look like somebody, I hold on tightly because it's not going to end well. Tony Danza, I'll take. I was excited when caller ID first came out. It was because we grew up not knowing who was on the other end of the phone. We just picked it up, and it truly could have been anybody because everybody had our numbers. Literally, books were published to let strangers know where we lived and what our phone number was. And if you wanted to keep that information, which common sense tells you it should have been private to begin with, but if you wanted it private, you had to pay for it. I have no idea what any of that says. Sorry, little beast. I didn't quite get that. I know Buffalo got a lot of lake effect. Remember the party lines? I remember those. 1974 model, Gen Xer for life. Call waiting was nice. It was. But now we're kind of back to not knowing who's on the other end because my phone will ring, and even with the number showing, it looks like it's somebody from my hometown. It shows my home exchange, but it's all spam. We went from being the generation of kids that prank called everybody, and now we're prank called on a regular basis. Sorry, I am not sure. People are saying they lost chat. It's, there's 140 people in here solid. There's a bunch of people coming in and out, so it'll do that from time. Cobra Kai is a goody influence. Anchor Bar has better sauces. Duff has better wings. Thoughts? Well, you got to know where my thoughts are. I've always liked Duff's. I've always liked Duff's for the super hot sauces. I like Duff's for the wings. I love Duff's for the amazing French fries and gravy. Favorite sci-fi, Star Trek or Star Wars? For science fiction, it's Star Trek. I always thought of Star Wars as science fantasy. More of a storyline and stuff like that. But I was definitely a Trekkie. You saw my lightsaber. I also have in my tool about Star Trek communicator. Also made by Kryptonite Creations LLC. And a Starfleet Type 2 phaser from Star Trek The Motion Picture. Kind of cool, huh? So definitely a Trekkie, definitely a sci-fi geek. I have to put up a second shelf soon. Stuff's getting full. So definitely love them both. Do I have a link for them? If you go on to Instagram, it's Kryptonite Creations LLC. It should pop right up. If you see my Instagram page, I have videos where I do tag them. 98,908. Moving up. Do I have a Millennium Falcon? No, this Christmas celebrated the 49th annual anniversary of me not getting a Millennium Falcon. No social media. They've got a Spotify page as well, which is where all their stuff is. I will try to post it on my link tree. Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, both good, but I think I got to go with Elizabeth Montgomery. I think the show is a little funnier. Appreciate the mods for keeping an eye on things, guys. Thank you. Run water in a small stream to prevent pipes from bursting. Do your kids roll their eyes at your childhood stories? Funny thing happens when you become a content creator and their trips to places like Disney World are tied to the success of your stories. They tend to roll their eyes a little less. Schoolhouse Rock medley was fired. Dude, I appreciate it. That one took me a long time because I looked online And there were a lot of videos on Schoolhouse Rock, but not like all of them that we remember. So I kind of made two of them. The one on I've got two on YouTube here. One that's a full 4 minutes, and one that's just a quick 90 seconds. And I love them both. I just close my eyes and listen, and it just brings back so many memories. I play Schoolhouse Rock for my fourth grade class. They hate it. Really? My kids love it. Lily or Morticia? Let's go with Lily. Big Munsters fan. 98,910. We continue to move up, guys. We are now 1,090 away from me having to down some Everclear. God help me. There's really no chance that I'm going to get 1,200 followers in the next hour. So I think I'm safe. But I'll do it if I get there. Shout out to Dane. Memories are important. You've done so much for me. I really appreciate that. I just pulled up on a 20-something kid driving a 74 VW Super Beetle. Very cool. Gave him a thumbs up. You got to be careful with the thumbs up. You intend on it being a good thing, but I just saw more videos and I made a reaction. It's not how they're taking it. Loved Hogan's Heroes. Loved MASH. How bad could it be? I'm watching these kids take Everclear, and I don't remember ever drinking it straight, but I think I'd survive it. Maybe I'll pour it in a little bit of MD 2020 for good measure. How much are you planning on downing? Straight shot only. I love Punky Brewster. Also a Gen Xer, I think. Everclear is basically legal moonshine. Legal in 38 states. I think it's banned in like 12. I loved McHale's Navy reruns. I loved all our reruns. I made a video talking about Gen X shows, and I kind of did it to bait my older boomer brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles, young and old boomers, because they got on it immediately. They couldn't help it. And they were like, hold on a second, those are our shows. But what they don't remember is when I came home from school and I put it on the WUHF dial, that's what I was watching. I was watching Leave It to Beaver. I was watching Flipper. I was watching McHale's Navy. I was watching Gomer Pyle and Get Smart, Munsters and Addams Family and Family Affair, Hogan's. It was all those old shows. And I get it that it was their shows. I get that. But that would be like us telling millennials that they didn't remember watching Friends as kids. It went into syndication. Of course they grew up with it, and so did we. I loved growing up with that stuff. I loved watching black and white television and not thinking anything of it. It was like, I loved Flipper. Car 54, where are you? But I loved Flipper. I thought Flipper was awesome. Catalana not agreeing. Such dumb shows. Well, to each their own. I loved it. It was a simpler time. It was nice looking back and seeing those old shows. Fun times we had when Everclear was involved, if that what we remember anyway. Black and white color didn't matter. We gauged shows by whether it was a new episode or an old episode sometimes, because shows like Gilligan's Island started in black and white and transitioned to color. So if you were watching an old episode, it would be in black and white. And then a newer one, which was still old, was in color. I think the only Gilligan's Island most Gen Xers saw that weren't reruns were the specials, like the Return to Gilligan's Island stuff when they got rescued and then stranded again and then rescued again. And then they had the Gilligan's Island cartoon where they go into space. That was weird. And the new Gilligan's Island when they turned the island into a resort. That was just horrible. If you guys remember that at all, let me know. Most people don't remember that. They think it was like a fever dream for me. Wizard of Oz starts in black and white and goes in color. Yep, and then they utilize Technicolor. Buffalo Bros, go Bills. Go Bills. God, I hope so, man. Could this be the year? A lot of those shows had great family morals. Dude, from your mouth to God's ear. 11, I would take that. Marsha or Jan? Sticking with Marsha. Some memories we suppress for a reason, John. Well said. Andy Griffith. Partridge Family. Partridge Family or Brady Bunch? Definitely Roseanne over the Connors for me. Yeah, man. Man Shadow asking if I'm live. I most definitely am. Feels so bad for the Ravens and the Lions. I agree. I love the both fan bases. Brady's Partridge Family. Brady's had the longevity. Eagles going all the way. Here's the thing. You don't know. They all got to play the game. People ask me how I felt about the Bills against the Ravens. Hell, I wasn't sure about the Bills against the Broncos. Anything could happen on any given day. Ravens deserve it. They played a bad first half. Well, you can't. God bless them, man. You can't turn the ball over 3 times and still stay in it. And yet they turned the ball over 3 times and still stayed in it. And I say turned it over. The one interception got away from him. The one fumble got punched out hard. That was a good defensive move. So here's what it is. They're a great team. They'll be in it again next year. Appreciate that, Bass fan. Sabres have been garbage. There's nothing new there. Toss up on the Cassidys. I don't know what it was about me. I did not. It didn't dawn on me that Sean Cassidy and David Cassidy were brothers until fairly recently. Born in 1970. Me too. Favorite Bills players, dude. You got to go with Josh Allen. Shakir, awesome. Cook's doing really well right now. Coleman's such a good kid. Knox is amazing. Von Miller, personal life aside, I'm not going to comment on, but the guy plays every down. We've got a local boy there. My kids go to Indian Land schools, and one of the defensive linemen is actually from here. But how do you not pick Josh Allen? The kid is just such a good person from what we can see. Mandela effect is a psyop to study how we react to change. It's something, man. What do you think about the movie Black Cauldron growing up? I don't think I've seen it, Real Duke. Don't take away my card for that. Great Space Coaster, Land of the Lost. Let's see. Love your content, John O'Born. December 28th, 1980. Just made it as a Gen Xer. Dude, I got people that are 1981, 82 that sociologists may not call them Xers, but if you relate, I know people that were born in 1983, but they're the youngest of 4 kids, right? And all their brothers and sisters were Gen X. They grew up the same experience. I say give them a card. 90s baby with an old soul. I love all TV shows and movies. That's awesome, Katie. I just watched one of your Everclear videos. I just put a new one up. I wonder if it's that one. That's my go-to liquor. I love your videos, and they're spot on with how I was raised. You're welcome. Thank you. Let's check the board. 98,915 subscribers. Ticked up 5 more. Looks like I'm safe still from the Everclear. 98,915. Ticking up, though, getting closer and closer. Remake, they are making the Labyrinth. That would be cool, but I mean, David Bowie's the only one that could wear those pants. My son was born in 1985, loves our music. I love that. 78 is a whole nother animal. 77, my husband is 81. Soul is 100% Gen X. Love it. Yeah, listen, it doesn't come down to the year you were born. That's a line in the sand, right? To me, it's your experiences. If you relate, that's awesome. If you grew up a latchkey kid, if you enjoyed our music and our movies, if you had to fend for yourself, if you knew what it was like to get called out for something stupid you did or someone you pissed off, and 3 o'clock high was looming, and you knew you were going to have to settle things on the playground. If you cooked for yourself at the age of 6, if you grew up on a playground designed to kill us, if you threw the jart into the air and played chicken, if your earliest toys were jackknives and butterfly knives, ninja throwing stars, and nunchucks, if it's all of that, then you're Gen X. That's it for me. Hey Sheila Bug, what's going on? Congratulations. Let me know if you need any help getting in touch. Sheila won our Trivia Crack event, and I think should be the proud holder of a $500 Amazon gift card as a result. Congratulations, Sheila. Clackers. Toys that, were invented by Darwin. If you grew up thinking quicksand was going to be how you met your utter end, if you grew up thinking that anything and everything could be fixed by duct tape, if television and movies were fundamentally changing before our very eyes, and technology was something that didn't exist when you were really little, but you were the first, we were basically the beta tester generation. We beta tested video games for the rest of the world. We beta tested streaming services through Napster and LimeWire and got a whole lot of viruses as a result. Carry Chuck's on my bike at 10. I didn't say it doesn't. I just said we were the first to figure out that duct tape does in fact fix everything. Duct tape, WD-40, and zip ties. Whatever happened to the Bermuda Triangle? Every episode of every show had at least one episode dealing with that, right? We were the first power users. Cards on bike wheels, definitely. Just hit 920. Shoot, that spiked up quickly. 98,920. 180 away from 99,000. Partying like it's 9999. Keep subbing, guys. Keep bringing people in. Keep hitting that like button. Let's see what we can get. Let's see how many we can get. Let's see if we can get close to that 100K. MTV or VH1? Listen, not much on this earth was more entertaining than pop-up videos. But that being said, we got to go with classic MTV. Pine cone fights, rock fights. When you didn't want to be thought of as a drug dealer for having a cell phone or a beeper. I remember I had a pager because my brother, we were both young when he had his first bar, and he needed to got a hold of me in case we had a delivery or something, and I was out and about. So he bought me my first pager, and I remember everybody thinking, why do you need a pager? Treehouse with an old American flag on the wall. Let's get that Everclear. Trying to cuddle up and go to bed. I will. I'll do a shot of Everclear. We just got one more subscriber, but it's not looking possible tonight. 1,079 to go to crack open that Everclear. Golf bag sleeves, bottle rocket fights, definitely. Fraggle Rock, I wasn't a cable kid. So for me, it was old school Muppets. Star Wars at the drive-in, Pink Floyd at the drive-in. Dude, it wouldn't kill me. I've been there before. This body will handle one shot of Everclear anyway. Pop-up videos were the best. I got to make some videos and recreate that. I like pop-up videos. VH1 also did the whole I Love the 80s. That was kind of fun. Rambo at the drive-in. BB gun wars. 3-pump rule. Nobody followed it. But yeah, we had our air rifles and we pumped 3 times. And if you pumped more than 3, you broke the rules. And we all did. Muppets, the 2 old guys, which we're right now you can call the boomers the old guys, but we are making our way over to them. Headbangers Ball was amazing. 120 Minutes was amazing. Yo MTV Raps was amazing. I'll say the unpopular thing. For me, the first couple seasons of Real World were amazing. Road Rules was fun to watch. It showed our peers, right? We were in our 20s and we got to see other people in our 20s doing really cool stuff. Did it go too far? Yeah, it became toxic. But those first couple seasons, pretty cool for me. Full rifle racks and trucks at school, absolute spitting facts there. Spring Break MTV, yeah, Beauty and the Beach, Daytona, Fort Lauderdale. I went to one MTV Spring Break. Yeah, Gen Xers are subscribing. We're up to 926. We just got 6 more. Not getting nervous yet. Rocky Horror Picture Show I saw at the drive-in. Pink Floyd's The Wall was a big one that I remember seeing multiple times at the drive-in. That chemically influenced people seeing The Wall at the drive-in was a thing. I remember MTV debuting before the video jukebox. I again wasn't a cable baby, but when MTV was in its infancy and I'd go to friends' houses to see it, and that was amazing. But even things like Friday night videos, night tracks, that was cool. I talk all the time how our generation, take off your lenses. What lenses? Okay. Yeah, Anna, Honest, whatever the hell your name is. See ya. Let's just go. Bye-bye. Um, Dude, we're the only generation that sees music when we hear it, at least the old stuff. And I talk about this from time to time. There's no way you can hear Thriller without seeing Michael Jackson doing that dance with a line of zombies. There's no way you can hear Like a Virgin without seeing Madonna crawling around on the floor in a wedding dress. Good night, Katie. Thank you for jumping on. We saw music. Boomers didn't really have music videos, and after us, MTV stopped playing music videos. So we're the only generation that hears Duran Duran and sees the video from that time period. That's a pretty cool thing. We see music. Oh my God, dude, Stacy just said it. Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran. Literally came out of my mouth right as you were writing it. Have I ever seen the Pink Floyd song synced up to Wizard of Oz? I haven't. I keep forgetting about it and then I don't see it. I'll have to check it out. Safety Dance. S S S S A. Jenny McCarthy, MTV singled out. I remember those. Looking at boobies on scrambled signals. I don't know what you're talking about. Girls on Film Rio. I will go watch it, definitely, after the Everclear. Cheap beer. I didn't need to do the cheap beer thing. If you know how I grew up, I've talked about it. My parents owned a Greek diner, and the building that the diner was in was two sides. And on one side was the diner, and equally large was the bar that we owned. So we had a bar from the time I was 15, 14 on up. And I had keys to the bar because one of my chores was to mop the bar. My parents, in their infinite wisdom, thought it'd be a good idea to hand me literally the keys to the kingdom. So, without saying too much, I never had to worry about cheap beer. I will say that the first time I raided the cooler, I made a bad choice. And my buddy and I thought we were getting drunk on what we thought was very fancy beer by the name of O'Doul's. Just didn't know we were drinking non-alcoholic beer till an upperclassman busted a gut laughing at us. Come Undone by Duran Duran was great. Nice Day for a White Wedding. USA Up All Night. Again, once I finally got cable, that was awesome. Cable for me was college. We would have been best friends. Oh, believe me, it didn't take me long to realize that by myself, it took me about 2 hours to mop the restaurant and the bar. But with two of my closest friends, it took about 30 minutes. And then we just hung around drinking a little bit and playing songs on the jukebox. Guys, remember jukeboxes? Waiting with the tape player by the radio to record a song. Absolutely, Chad. I absolutely remember We Are the World. Deidre, I think it was. Yeah, and if you were really good, you'd have your tape player set, right? You would have the play and the record pushed and the pause button. Just all you had to do was go and flip that pause button off and you were off and running. King of Pain, still my favorite song. My life in 1980 changed with MTV. Definitely remember jukeboxes. Yeah, I had to put tape on the corners. If we ran out of cassette tapes, or if I like made a mixtape about a girl and then we stopped dating and it was bad and it ended badly and I didn't want to have the mixtape anymore, I would plug up the holes and just tape over it again. Have a 45 of We Are the World. 40. That's anniversary of We Are the World's coming up in March. I think it might be 45 years. I'd have to check. So fun talking about our era in music. Music, movies, television. Sorry, not sorry. Gen X was an amazing time to be alive. Mama Bear, I tend to repeat myself. What I often say is, if you're lucky, right? If you have the blessing of a long life, everybody's going to get old. Even the young kids today are fortunate someday will be old. So youth isn't guaranteed for anybody. But if not everybody got to be young when we did. So if we're all going to get old anyway, I'd rather be old today if it means that I got to be young when we were young. Because I don't think you can ever change like just how amazing it was to be kids that span that gap of no technology into technology. Kids that grew up at a time when parents both started working for the first time, or because of divorce or other circumstances, really weren't home very much. and laws weren't quick to catch up. No one was getting in trouble legally for leaving the 8-year-olds home alone, at least not that I knew. That was a very rare moment in time, and probably not a good one, right? I would not let my kids be home, my girls, my daughters, be home alone at 8 o'clock because we know too much today. There's too much news out there to let us know the dangers of the world. But even though that's just what makes it all the more special. No phones. Greetings, everybody. Oh, dude, I appreciate that, Pete. Thank you so much. I remember a mimeograph machine. Oh, absolutely. Dittos. Parents wouldn't buy tapes and tapes. 3-pack from Maxwell had to last school year. Yeah, we just had to keep using them over and over and over again. Same with VHS tapes. When you would want to record for a specific scene, Fast Times at Ridgemont High when it came on, we just keep using the same VHS tapes over and over again, making sure not to tape over certain scenes or certain parts. Best video game, quarter stand-up console, or Atari? I mean, Atari brought it home for us, which was incredible, right? But what I think kids don't understand, like kids will stream video game play today. And everyone's like, well, that's really incredible because kids today have found a way to socialize playing video games. Dude, we socialized playing video games. We would throw our quarters up on the screen and then wait our turn by watching somebody play. And if you were really good at a specific video game, people would come all around you to watch you play. It was a social experience. The arcade was a social place. I myself walked the back roads for cans. We did that too. We were the testing kids. We really were. We beta tested a lot. I've said it before, Disney Duchess. I sucked at Cubert. Could not stay on that pyramid to save my life. Centipede was pretty good. Trick-or-treating in the bars and getting money. Yeah, facts. I hadn't thought about that, but a lot of us experienced it. Or walking into a bar in order to get cigarettes out of the cigarette machine for your parents and nobody questioning it. Dig Dug. I can hear it in my head now. 98,937. We continue to climb. 63 away from 99,000. And safely 1,063 away from me having to down some Everclear. 186 followers. If everybody in here puts 10 people to sub, I'm getting drunk. Jean jackets. I still got my Levi jacket that I found in a thrift store around here somewhere. Dragon's Lair, I was not great at. Malls in general, I was absolutely a mall rat. Dante from Clerks actually follows me over on Instagram, which I think is cool as hell. Come on, everybody, subscribe. John really wants that Everclear. Somebody here listened to you. We're up to 939 now. Dungeons and Dragons. D&D was big. In my teen years, early college, I remember Magic the Gathering became a pretty big deal. I agree on Kevin Smith. Time to get a new hat. Dude, I got them. Got this one. I'm always ready for this comment. Got this one. I got these. No shortage of Bill's hats. This is just my favorite. I say it all the time. Just because something's old and haggard doesn't mean it doesn't have value. This is my favorite. Remember 720? I don't, Ace. Oh, agreed. It's so comfy. I was definitely a mall rat. It was just, there was nothing better. Like, I would have, so everybody you grew up with, right, in your school knew who you were, and they'd known you since you were real little. So there are these preconceived notions. I was a dork. I was a little bit of a nerd growing up. So even by my sophomore, junior year, when I started to grow out of it, when I started to kind of grow into my own and I wasn't that geeky, skinny kid, I finally got contact lenses and put away the Coke bottle glasses. People that I grew up with still saw me as that geeky little kid. It's just the way things were. So you'd go to the mall and you're hanging out and all of a sudden a girl you don't know taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, my friend thinks you're cute." and you'd hang out. You're like, really? That's cool. And so your little group of friends would go meet their little group of friends at the arcade. And then get her snap. It's not like you could text her or get her phone number really. We could call at the house, but that would never happen. Mickey Rats and Mulligans. Brick Bar just lost Brick Bar, dude. So sad about it. But in that moment, it was really cool. Yep, I played Paperboy. That for that moment, I had like a 1 or 2 or 3 hour little affair going. It was pretty cool. And that would happen at the mall. Go Bills. 007 GoldenEye 4-player, a lot of fun. Sega Hockey also was another one we played while drinking. Frogger was awesome, Ace. Get rid of geeky toys behind you. Never going to happen, but thank you for playing. Your mom likes when I play with toys. We would drink in the underground parking lot at the mall. All kinds of love to go into all who subscribed. I love watching Battle of the Network Stars. Oh, dude, I love that. Getting to see all of our favorite celebrities like competing against each other. That was awesome. Oh my God, sis. Yeah. Sports Talk, Joe Montana, Sports Talk Football. Tecmo Bowl was another big one. Silver Surfer pinball machine. I remember a dorky Star Trek Next Generation pinball machine. That's Incredible was a fun show. Thing about Battle of the Network Stars that I loved is they would bring on that guy that was an expert on did I ever get into WWF a little bit? They would bring on the guy that was an expert on Simon Says. And that was fun to watch people do that. And of course, at the very end, nothing better. There were three things you watched Battle of the Network Stars for. Well, number one was the swimming. Because if you were a girl, you got to see Scott Baio or Willie Ames or whomever in a bathing suit. And if you were a guy, you got to watch Linda Carter and Kathy Lee in a bathing suit. So that was a moment. That was a thing to watch for. And then the other great things were the obstacle course at the end, and then finally the tug of war. Just three of my favorite things about Battle of the Network Stars. What was the name of the club that they would give you a box? You had to watch shows and it would give it ratings? I don't really remember. I ain't really married. You're pushing your luck there, dude. I am really married. Again, much to the chagrin of your mom, but what can you do? Double Dare. Heather Thomas poster. There were all the Heathers. Heather Thomas, Heather Locklear. Nielsen ratings. Star Search with Ed McMahon. I forgot about Star Search. It was so funny that Star Search was like, I don't know what, America's Got Talent, sort of like American Idol. But I always thought it was funny that they had the spokesmodel category. That was like trying to make it legitimate. So it wasn't all about singing or dancing or comedians. They also had that spokesmodel. And they would get up and talk like that was a talent. It's the only one I would have won. 98,944 as we continue. What's going on? I can't read the name. Baranjan? Hello to you. All right, Catalana Lana. Bye-bye. I've had as much fun as I'm going to have with you. That's what they wanted anyway. People just keep going and they want to be banned. Trolls. Bye, Felicia. What's going on, Tom? If you're just tuning in, the 171 popping in and out, and we've had thousands come and go, we are doing our level best to see what we can do to get our subscriber channel up. Currently sitting at 98,945. Thank you, Stephanie. She thinks she's lucky, not because she thinks I'm, well, at any rate, thank you. We're sitting at 98,945 subscribers. We are 1,055 away from me having to drink some Everclear. Thank you, Sheila. Appreciate that. Don't correct her. Anybody can say I'm hot. That's fine. Dude, that's getting few and far between. You got to remember, I started bartending like in the clubs, and it was always like the cougars that would leave me the best tips, and that was cool, and it made you feel good. Now as I get older, my hunt for cougars that are impressed with me gets harder and harder to find. I'm gonna have to be bartending in like in a retirement home soon. If ladies keep hitting on John, his wife might not let him play with us anymore. Dude, as long as I'm home, she doesn't really mind so much. And they're nothing but compliments. That's never a bad thing. Everclear, nuts. Just one shot. What could it hurt? What was it? About 2 months ago, we popped open a bottle of MD 2020, the Orange Jubilee, and it was delicious. Got one bottle left. Maybe that's what we'll mix the Everclear with. We'll take the second bottle and mix some Everclear in. 190 proof, just sitting there taunting me. But if we hit 100,000, I'll go for it. What's going on, Crystal? Good to see you in the house. Famous last words, always. No Aftershock or Avalanche. Hard to find. They stopped making it stateside. I loved Avalanche. I liked Aftershock even more. I was always a big fan of the cinnamon, but the problem was, more often than not, our only way to get at the crystals was to break the bottle, and you risk eating as much glass as you did crystal. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Just lost Chuck Woolery last year. Do they make MD still? They sure do. Jumping the Shark, where a TV show throws a Hail Mary. Yeah, and it came directly from Fonzie, literally jumping a shark on Happy Days. Having a good night? Absolutely, Margaret. How are you? Cherries soaked in Everclear. I'd give it a shot. But yeah, shows jumping the shark. That was when Happy Days jumped the shark, and that's where the term came from. It was never really quite as good after that major stunt. Purple Passion, I could deal with it. Not bad. Very sweet. Did I ever make Hunch Bunch? We made, what we call Jungle Juice with the Everclear. Memories of Zima just popped up. Oh, working at a bar. Girls, primarily women, always wanted Zima in a different flavor, a different color. If they wanted it red, we would use slow gin. If they wanted it green, we'd put a shot of Midori in it. If they wanted it blue, we'd put a shot of blue curacao in it. Always would just add a different color to the Zima. Everclear and Hawaiian Punch absolutely did that. Zima with a Jolly Rancher in the bottle did that as well. The 90s were incredible. So people will often ask me if I'm ever worried about running out of content. And I remind them that we've got 50 years worth of content. And for the most part, we've really only started talking about our youngest years. I can't wait to start talking more about my 20s. Did I have the $6 million man toy? I absolutely did. Carol saying turning 58 on February 1st. I'm turning 55 on February 1st, Carol. We share a birthday. Good old whoop juice. Good advice. Do not drink wine coolers and take a cold pill. The hangover was not fun. The day that you reach 100K will be called Generation X Day. Well, I don't think it'll be today. I appreciate everybody subbing so far. We're up to 98,947. And what did we start at? I think we've gotten over 100 subs during the live today. So I appreciate each and every one of you. 47 on January 29. Thank you, guys. Happy early birthday to each and every one of you as well. Class of 85. 85 was such an awesome year. Awesome year in movies. Awesome year in music. Awesome year in television. Can't wrap my head around the fact that weed was a big deal in our day. Now it's everywhere. Kind of like everything else I've talked about. The fact that it's everywhere kind of makes it less special. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. 60 in September. Yeah, our oldest extras are all turning 60 this year. Subscribe is an early birthday gift. Yeah, pushing on 200 people in here. The joke is if everybody gets 10 people to jump on and subscribe, we got it. And I'm getting drunk. Class of 94. 90s were, listen, 70s, 80s, 90s. Can't beat it. And the 60s sounded pretty cool too. Only difference with the 60s is parents were more apt to catch you and stuff. So when people are like, no, the 60s were really cool, I get it, especially if you were older. But as a kid in the 60s, your mom was home. Us kids of the 70s and 80s and 90s, mom wasn't home. And that kind of made our life a Disney movie. You know, every Disney movie with kids in it shows these kids having an adventure that would not be possible if they didn't kill off Mufasa, if Bambi's mother didn't get shot. They always got rid of the parents. We didn't need anyone to get rid of our parents. They just went on their own. And we had our adventures as a result. I love my childhood. It was a great adventure. Likewise, class of 88 here as well. Do I remember the movie My Science Project? Actually, just saw it pop up to stream as I almost watched it yesterday with my daughter. It's funny you mention it. I was 1 for the bicentennial, looking forward to the tricentennial. I was 6, and I remember marching in a parade as a Cub Scout during the bicentennial. It was a very big deal. And I grew up in a small town, so parades were kind of a big deal back then for that kind of thing. This is your brain on drugs, PSAs. We had a lot of PSAs, lucky. My Science Project is great. Yeah, all of his movies were good. I can't think of a bad one. Get home from school. Call mom at work. Let her know we're home. And then after that, done. Try not to burn the house down. And then told that, like people say, why my daughter say all the time, was there really no good TV? I'm like, there's lots of good TV. What's your point? She's like, because you were outside so much. Like our parents didn't want us in the house. You know, mom would clean the house and then she'd go to work. And the last thing she wanted was us bringing a bunch of our friends running through the house and making a mess. So when we called mom to say, hey, we're home, she's like, okay, now go outside and play. I don't want kids over. Don't bring anyone over. Don't make a mess. Don't burn the house down. Don't jump on the beds. Don't rip the curtains off the wall. Don't break stuff. And we broke stuff. People talk about duct tape fixing everything. Dude, my mom learned to smell super glue from the driveway. She would walk into the house already yelling, what did you break? She could smell the super glue, I swear to you, I promise you, from the driveway. And then the hunt began for her to find what we broke. And if she couldn't sniff it out, she separated us, and the CIA interrogations began until she got one of us to crack. And I promise you, one of us always cracked. Go out or stay in by yourself, clean up your own mess. The nose knows. Do, the more you know. Did you ever figure out what Strong Armstrong was made of? Yes. We absolutely gutted him like a stuck pig. No girls over. It's kind of a dork, as I mentioned. Any girls I brought over would have been safe. I was forever in the friend zone. Creepy crawlers. Early February for you as well, Jason. Thank you for the super chat gift. Appreciate you, man. Happy birthday for you, too. Us February babies. Anyone remember when the dentist visits school with the red pills? God, I remember that. The shame. The shame when the mouth would turn red because you didn't brush well. Our life was brought to you by the words close enough, suck it up, and then embarrassment. Looks like I just lost a subscriber. Went from 950 to 949. Must have been somebody we kicked out, decided to pull their subscription back. We'll live. Down to 98,949. Do I remember Clown House? I don't. Yeah, the shame. There was a lot of shame involved in raising us. Our parents knew how to embarrass us. They could give a master class on embarrassing us. I got spanked in front of friends. I got spanked at stores, at the supermarket. My mom yelled at me in front of people. Back up to 950. And as much as they shamed us, as much as they embarrassed us, that was the biggest threat. We could break shit, we could burn shit down, we could level stuff. But if we brought embarrassment onto our parents, holy moly. Guilt was another big one. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. They're kind of useless, but they're pretty. Negative 650 and negative 700 each eye. I can't see squat without contacts, but yes, they're clear contacts. I always used to joke that my eyes are pretty useless. And it helps that I've got a ring light staring me in the face. Dude, the belt, when you would snap it, my dad was king at that. Do I remember Max Headroom? Absolutely. 7 inches of snow in Florida. I'm just up from you in South Carolina. We just got a dusting, and that's it. 98,951. What time have we got? 10:32. Go Bills. Never thought I'd see it. Well, hold on. We're not there yet. And listen, I've seen 4 Super Bowls. 20, 21, 22, and 23 years old. So getting there isn't the goal, although I'm happy to be there. I'd love to get there. Getting there and winning is the goal. Did I ever claim a lamppost? I don't think so. Dolphins fan, loved my Dolphins fans. Squish the fish and all that, but you guys are a great fan base. I do remember Automan. Hello from Texas. Hey, Amanda. Really need a belt for these pants. Where did I grow up? I grew up in Western New York. Born in Rochester. We moved to a very small town in Western New York, right on Lake Ontario, called Wolcott, New York. And I lived there till I was 18. Only Greek family in town. Everybody knew who we were. And then I went to school at UB, and I lived in Buffalo for about 12 years before getting married. Moving back to Rochester for 9 years. In the last 8 years, I've lived here in the Charlotte area. Jim Kelly was awesome. I worked under him. Jim Kelly's Sports City Grill and Network, restaurant and bar. I got to work with him. He also let us volunteer for a couple of events for the Kelly for Kids Foundation. That was amazing. Sabres are killing us all, but they do every year. Thundercats, without a doubt. I do not remember the show Wallace. Danny Terrio, I do remember. Solid Gold Dancers, of course I remember. Mom coming out with a fresh handful of paint sticks? Not for painting. Never got beaten with a paint stick. My mom liked the slipper, the wooden shoe, the wooden spoon, I mean. I do a lot of Greek tradition. Still, my wife is Greek as well, so that helps with that. And my mom used to make pita, sparakopita, tiropita, and she would use this long dowel to thin out the phyllo. And she would use that to beat us too, because it had reach. Got the belt, hard hairbrush. My mom had ornamental like horse brushes hanging in different parts of the house. We got those too. If you don't stop crying, I'm going to give you something to cry about. David, my favorite thing is when they would alternate between answer me and shut up. They would yell at us and say, well, say something, answer me. And then you would try to say something in a hitched breath because you were doing that crying thing that made it impossible to speak and breathe at the same time. So it'd be like, and that would annoy them. So then they would tell you to shut up. And then the thing would just keep going. Say something, answer me, shut up. Don't talk back to me when I'm talking to you. Sit there and listen. Say something. And that would be how it would go for a while. Only do this because I love you. My mom told me that one. Romper Stompers, absolutely remember those. Remember homemade Romper Stompers. We would just take Campbell's soup cans and put holes in them and jump ropes through and use them for our Romper Stomper stilts. And no, I don't think I ever bought them. We always made our own. Kangaroo sneakers, I had a pair. Kept my house key in the zipper. My mom was a master Jedi of mind tricks. Dude, all our parents were. Our parents didn't very often ask us like how our day was. It wasn't leave it to beaver at the dinner table. And I remember like the few times I cut school or did something. My dad, man, small town, somebody would see me somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. And they would, they wouldn't come out and say, hey, I know you didn't go to school. Here's your punishment. No, they wanted you to stack offenses so that they could really get you good. So my dad would always just say, how's school today? And then your mind just starts going. You do these mental Olympics, mental gymnastics where you're trying to think ahead of them. Hey, Chrissy. And you're just really, really trying, hey, John, to know what do they know? How much do they know? Can I lie my way out of this? They just got you, man. But the fact that we did those things, I mean, I am an amazing problem solver, creative storyteller. I can think fast. I can think on my feet. I really, really, really think that's what got me to where I am today. Get your ass in the motherfucking house right now before I beat your ass. If you know, you know. Dude, I could read that instantly the first time I saw it. Were jackets a thing in the States? K-Way? It doesn't sound familiar. Punky Brewster, Shana Na, we watched every day. Fell asleep in church. Dude, we couldn't fall asleep in church. Greek Orthodox Church is basically a standing service. You barely sit at all. So, giggling in church, that got us beat. When parents ask you a question about your day, you know they're setting you up most of the time. But you always took that risk. You know, there was a rare time when maybe he was just asking, and I'm not going to give myself up. There's still a chance he doesn't know. So you lie and you try to be intentionally vague. He said, "How was school today?" And you say, my day was good." And then you wait. And then he'd say, "I didn't ask how your day was." Clock the Greek accent. "I asked how school was." Then I knew I was cooked. Then I knew it was over. But I still lied. I remember Grizzly Adams. I loved Grizzly Adams. Good luck to you, Katie. You never know. Body glove t-shirts, had some. Were your parents first gen to the United States? Yeah, I was raised first generation. My parents both came over from Greece, 1968, I think. 67 or 68. OP shirts, Jam shorts. Hey, Commodore fan. Do kids climb trees anymore? I can tell you my daughters did. My youngest still does. Been watching the snow. Hey, I got to go check. I'm going to get offline soon. 98,956. I thought it'd be cool to get to 99,000. I didn't own a Michael Jackson jacket. My younger brother had one. Thank you so much, Let's Be Frank. I appreciate it. If you're just joining, we are trying to get to 99,000, trying to get to our first 100,000 subscribers. We're close. 98,956. I never really thought I would be anywhere near this close to a play button and 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. After hearing you were Greek, all I can think of is baklava. Dude, if you were a kid in my school growing up, I just remember that's all my mom knew how to make were the Greek pastries. She didn't know how to make brownies. She didn't know how to bake a cake. She didn't know how to make cookies. She made Greek cookies. She made kadaifi. She made baklava. She made lukumades. So like on birthdays, when I would go to school, we always used to have to bring something into school for our birthdays when we were growing up. And back then, I assumed there were food allergies. I can promise you no one gave a shit. If you had food allergies, you took your life into your own hands because no one cared. And I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying it's how it was. So we just brought in something. And my mom would make a pan of baklava for my birthday in the 3rd grade, a bunch of lukumades. And the teachers caught on quickly. And even though my mom couldn't make cookies or brownies, the teachers started to so that they could confiscate the good Greek stuff and then just give the kids brownies. Hey, sweetheart.
Hi. I was just playing outside.
Is there any snow?
Any snow?
Is there a lot of snow? Really?
Mm-hmm. They're playing outside.
It's my soon-to-be 13-year-old munchkin. Really? It did snow? How much? Like an inch?
Yeah.
All right. I guess we got snow. She has a snow day tomorrow. Hopefully it'll stick around enough to make a snowman.
Mm.
You know, well, yeah, I bet you what we'll do is we'll just rake all the snow together and we'll make a snowman tomorrow. It's going to stay cold.
It's like some of it is packing snow there.
Tomorrow's going to be about 32, 33 degrees, which will be perfect for packing snow. Okay?
Today's 26.
Yeah, that's too cold.
Mm.
You want this for perfect packing snow. It's got to have water in it, and it can't have water in it if it's too cold.
Yes.
Enjoy your snow day. She's got my eyes. Yeah, if anybody's wondering if my eyes are real, there's the proof. Some people said you have lenses in. I'm like, yeah, no.
Wait, who?
Yeah, not yet. Now
here?
we banned them. Yeah. Now the difference is they get to know already that they have a snow day tomorrow, and I always joke with them. I'm like, you guys, you have it easy. We didn't get to know the night before. We had to get up in the morning, go downstairs, turn on the TV, and just watch the scroller underneath, hoping our school name would be listed. And I don't even think I caught it on the local news because we grew up in a small town that wasn't near enough to a city. So we had to listen to AM radio to figure it out.
Somebody said, can you build an igloo? Last year we actually built
It wasn't last year. It was 2018.
No, it's 2022.
No, I looked it up. It was 2018. Yeah.
No way.
Yes, it was that long ago. Yeah, we couldn't see it on the TV. Hug your dad for us. Ooh, love of my life. My girls are my everything. Good night, Jason. Thank you for popping in. Thank you, everybody, for the nice words. She's my twin. A lot better looking than I am, I hope. She does have amazing curly hair. She does all kinds of stuff. It was 8 this morning in Alden. Youch. Missing the news. Oh, the worst was if you would like miss the like for me again, listening to AM radio. We were North Rose Wolcott School District. So if we got on and they mentioned Oswego, which starts with an O, I knew I had to wait until they went all the way back around again. Gen X parents telling their kids they love them. I'm fortunate as hell. My parents weren't home because we had a restaurant. So I grew up without my parents being around much. They didn't come to a lot of my events or my games or stuff like that. But there was no shortage of them telling me they loved me. I was fortunate when it came to that. That might be a Greek thing. I appreciate that, Thor. Thank you. Hey, Jody. Happy birthdays.
Thanks.
Currently 4 degrees in Fredonia. Youch.
Wow.
My part of South Carolina is doing the same. It's about 25 out there. Blink twice if you're in trouble, little girl. It's not by me.
Okay.
It takes a lot for her to get in trouble by me. Hey, Malaka. Walkie-talkies. Dude, I loved my walkie-talkies. I had Star Trek walkie-talkies. So, a quick story about my dad. I remember telling my dad we really wanted, I think it was the Star Trek walkie-talkies. And like I said, we grew up outside of Rochester. It was an hour to get to the city. And I remember him and left my mom in a jam.
-4.
Yeah. To buy a walkie-talkies. And that was my birthday present one year.
-20.
And we used to be able to do the Morse code through them and send that signal through. That was always cool. She's your mini-me. Beautiful Greek hair. Yeah, it's cold everywhere right now. Like, I think the whole country, at least from the middle to the East Coast, is freezing.
About walkie-talkies, we actually use walkie-talkies.
I know you do. I think it's crazy. They play with walkie-talkies. And then she has a phone, but sometimes they put the phones down, just prefer to play with walkie-talkies. All right, guys, 98,960 subscribers.
Wow.
So 40 away from 99,000, which would be amazing. So of the 200 in here, if 40 of you aren't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you can make sure to catch all new content and get closer to the 100,000 where I may or may not at this point. Oh, we just hit that 61. Pop open a bottle of Everclear. Thank you, Jason. Where'd the kids go? They went inside?
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you get into jammies, and I'm going to finish up here, and we'll come downstairs and we'll watch Wonder Years.
Okay.
Okay?
Is this?
It's live.
Wait. No,
That's
is this
YouTube.
like... Oh, so it's not like followers. It's like...
Subscribers,
Oh, wait, is it like
yeah.
followers?
So in YouTube, they're called subs. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the subs. Just got 5 more on the counter. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. 966. Closer and closer to 100,000. And it's a hallmark for YouTubers to hit that 100,000 followers. They throw a play button your way. Who wore penny loafers? Thank you for the sub. I did. Maybe. Hard time remembering. I was more of a Docksider guy, less pennies. She loves the Wonder Years, dude. She's shocked people are following her dad. Nah, she's used to it.
What?
She does video. Are you shocked that people follow dad?
Oh, no.
She does some videos with me from time to time. Can you give my YouTube channel a shout out? Sure, TBUCIM. Without a doubt, man. All in it together. Yeah, she loves the Wonder Years. I love the Wonder Years. I was telling her that Kevin, played by Fred Savage, is now older in reality today than his dad was when he played his dad on the Wonder Years. Winnie Cooper actually commented once on a post that I made, and that made my month.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride, absolutely one of my favorites. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Is that Lando?
Or lambda. I don't like that.
How cold is it where we are? We are in the Charlotte area, and it's about 23 degrees. Hey, what's going on over in Brazil? 2 people from Brazil.
Yeah.
Most remembered TV commercial. My bologna as a first name was right up there. McDonald's, 2 all beef patties. Coca-Cola commercial. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Big one. Where's the beef? Always comes up whenever I do a commercial montage. So those are all there.
I'm gonna go now.
Okay, honey. Go ahead and I'll come down. I'll finish up in just 2 seconds, okay?
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you, sweetheart. John, when you reach 100,000, please mark that day. And I said it before, there will be Generation X Day. I'll take that. I absolutely will.
Dad, what is this? Like
What's what?
chocolate?
I don't know, my love.
Oh, because it says chocolate.
Then it's probably chocolate.
Huh.
What's going on, Gianni? Oh, Kristen says hi, Cleo. Cindy says bye, beautiful.
Bye.
Hey, Quark. Who are you, little bro? I'm your little bro, man. You got to be pretty old. What's up, Jay? Vicky says bye. Cadbury's Phil Collins? I don't remember that. I might. I just have to look it up. 98,975. Much respect, Russell. Thank you so much. She's a good kid. She's a smart kid. She's a funny kid. She is Uzbekistan. Hello. Uzbekistan in the house. Hello. Both my girls are amazing. And it's shout out to their mom. They have an amazing mom who does everything for them. 1 degree in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Thoughts on Super Nintendo 64? My Nintendo just changed the world, dude, because using Atari, we needed a lot of imagination to make that work. If you guys don't look up Atari basketball, there's nothing about that looked like basketball. But Nintendo came along, man, and it was Tecmo Bowl, Punch Out, still very young, still a lot of fun. That was awesome. Night, Luna. All right, guys, last call for subs to see if we can get to 99,000, and then I got to call it for the night. We've been on for about an hour and a half. I appreciate all of you guys. We are going to head down and watch Wonder Years with the little munchkin. Appreciate all the likes. I definitely appreciate all the follows, guys. I appreciate you guys so much for subbing, for supporting the page, for jumping in on the lives, for sharing and liking the content. It's been a dream for me so far. Do you catch yourself using phrases from your parents used on you? I think the language gap kind of prevents that from happening. Most of the stuff in the house where I grew up was in Greek. We spoke Greek in the house and English outside of the house, so it's a little different. I appreciate that, Cheryl. Thank you so much. I'm having literally the time of my life doing this. It's just something I never expected. A huge life change to show up at this point in my life. And I owe it all to you guys. Have a great night, guys. I'm out of here as well. Sheila, you take care. Congratulations again. You were brought up in Greece. I wasn't. I was brought up here States, but both my parents immigrated here. So in the great melting pot that we grew up in, we were expected to kind of be American outside of the house. We weren't allowed to speak Greek outside of the house. My parents wanted to make sure that we melted in. But in the home, they wanted us to retain our language and our culture. So that's the way I was raised. So I speak both Greek and English. I read both Greek and English. But I'm an American first and foremost with some Greek culture thrown in for fun. You guys stay warm. Thank you so much. Sending nothing but love out to you. See you Friday at 5:30 p.m. here on YouTube, if not before. Otherwise, Sunday at 8 p.m., depending on the Bills game. Peace. Love you all. Take care.